Hi guys, it's ShishKebabber1 coming right back at you with an all-new Boom Beach video. Well, Season 34 is on the way, and this is our sneak peek video. Bear with me as we attempt to do a new format for this video. This season, I don't believe we'll be having the Up Destroy Tech Tree planners. This is a bit of a hodgepodge from sources sourced all over the community. Big shout out primarily to Chicken, that's right, the one and only the Chicken, giving me a lot of the screenshots that we'll be using here, and then of course to BBTFRG for their awesome tech tree calculator that we'll be employing a bit later into this video. Fingers crossed, hope the format works out. Let's jump into it. So, let's begin with the Season 34 stat boosts right here. As you can see, courtesy of the Chicken, we've got troop damage is going to be 150%, building damage 50%, troop health 100, building health 100. Which GBE? I don't know, he didn't tell me. It's in there, we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal, honestly, because as you know, that's like the final day, right? But it's a 4-week season, so there's a lot more to get into and a lot more to dissect as we maneuver our way through the season. That's just kind of an overview and a good place to start. Let's jump into the tech tree. Now, here we go. Yeah, we're going to be looking at screenshots. Again, thank you, Chicken. These are screenshots out of the dev build that he took, I think, when he was doing his video that he released earlier today. Anyway, as you can see here, we start off with Warriors. I mean, this should all be old information. Most of you people watching this video are well aware of this information at this point. So we see in the 2ER meta, we basically have Warriors, Bazookas. You start off with cannons and sniper rifles automatically. There's not a lot to stop Warriors except the mines. Mortars might do a little bit of work, but only if they're maxed. That first multi-node, we've got a picture of it. I guess we can insert it right here. And, it's whatever. It's what you would expect early on. Now, moving right along, though, as you see, going into 3ER, that's where we start to get something that actually starts to work against Warriors, which is, of course, flamethrowers. So, in 2ER, there's really no doubt about it, Warriors are going to rule the roost. Once you bring out flamethrowers, it makes it more difficult, but by no means are flamethrowers and mines alone going to be enough to stop most Warrior players. So I still see Warriors being really strong early out of the gate. In fact, the whole name of the season is, like, how far can you ride Warriors, really? Or how far do you want to ride the Warriors? Because, we're all starting with them, we all got to use them, but then early on here, again, we see in 3ER, we've got early access to Bombardiers. And these guys are going to be strong all freaking season long. So the question is, when do Warriors peter out to the point that you want to then bring in Bombardiers? That's kind of the whole philosophy in how I'm approaching this tree and the strategy, okay? And I don't really have the exact answer, but I'm just throwing it out there right now. That's what I see happening, right? So Warriors are still super strong at a certain point, and we've got early access to our heroes. Kavan, I think he's in this screenshot up here. He can be accessed to the left of the shock bomb, and then 2 nodes to the right of the shock bomb, of course, is Brick. Yeah, who really cares about Brick, right? I mean, maybe she'll be something early on, but I doubt it. The key thing to keep in mind here, guys, is this is a 4-week season. The way we approach a 4-week season is a little bit differently than 3. Remember that all the chest values in terms of keys and tokens, they've all been reduced to accommodate for the longer season. This has implications like devaluing ranked chests insofar as, how can I explain this? They don't contribute to the same percentage of your total season tech in a 4-week season, because there's more chests every day, right? Like every day you open up 3 chests a day, presumably, if you're playing the game right. Okay, so in a 3-week season, let's say you play every single day of all 3 weeks, okay? That's 3 chests a day times 7 days is 21 chests. Times 3 weeks is 63 chests. But let's say you start at rank, 12, and you finish in rank 24. Okay, real quickly, let's call that 12 rank chests. Well, actually, it's not even 12 rank chests. You get all the rank chests before that, too. So technically, that's 24 rank chests. So, or maybe 23, because the first one, I don't think you actually technically get it. 23, 24, potato. Do you see, that's taking 24 into 60? I mean, that's huge. That's nearly half of your total tech, or no, call it a third, because you have to add it together. A third of your total tech in a 3-week season comes just from rank. Now, if you carry out the same calculations, if you could follow any of that for 4 weeks, you'll find that percentage is lower, okay? Because the total tech that comes from ranked chests is a lower percentage proportion of the total tech for the season. So what this means is tech grinding doesn't have as much intrinsic value as well, okay? Because if you have to make a sacrifice just to get to the next node, it's a very costly sacrifice, because just getting that next rank chest might not even afford the node that you just sacrificed, if that makes any sense. So these are the kind of things we're keeping in mind as we approach this tree and we're looking at it. So basically, we don't want to make any mistakes. Whoops, I also don't want to type anything. Right, gotta watch what I type here. So, we're getting into the pathing, just want to get into the strategy, okay, of what I'm thinking. So, an early Kavan, though, guys, is super powerful, because he's a really strong hero. So we're going to have this other problem again of, when do we come back to get Kavan? Now, warrior players might be tempted to get him to play with their warriors. And again, Brick's also a pretty strong choice for warriors, but guys, you know, Brick won't be there at the end. You're going to have to go back and get another warrior, and I just don't think it's going to be justified to get an extra hero when we're in a 4-week season. You just can't recover the cost, not in a timely fashion. So I would highly advise against Brick, but Kavan is super tempting. I just don't know when we want to go back to get him quite yet. But looking forward, there's a key vacuum there with the tanks, and we've also got Barrage, sort of on a dead end into the rocket launchers. This season, I'm not going to be as tempted to go for Barrage because artillery is delayed. It doesn't come till like 6th ER, so you know, it's strong but not super strong. And I think the name of the game here is going to be getting to a point to where we can stop warriors such that we can bring our bombardiers online. And a lot of that is going to come down to deck configurations. I guess we could go ahead and take a look at some of those right now. Again, courtesy of the chicken. Thank you, sir. That would be the 2ER deck. Yeah, you know, we don't care too much about this, just as a matter of note. You know, we'll have warriors and flares, so, I mean, you can get anywhere pretty quickly on a deck like that. 3ER has some good things going on around P1, as you can see. You'll be able to nestle in a couple of ERs over there, maybe put a whole bunch of mines over there to make it kind of nasty for the warriors. They might have to kind of stagger drop their way in to clear a base out if it's nestled away over there. So the deck of 3ER is pretty nice, but by and large, the warriors are way too strong at 3ER, so I don't really think you'll make much of a defensive stand at 3, at least not early. Coming into 4ER now, well, shoot. I mean, you see we've got access to basically all of the deck. You know, of course, the front ramp is open, and then we've got the rear portion of the side ramp open, giving a lot of access to everything. Warriors can still be quite strong at 4ER, and this is kind of the point. I think the strongest deck layout this season probably occurs again at 5ER. Yes, there's 2 ramp access, but at least the rear of the boat is a bit more protected. So hopefully you can get a lot of defenses up in there, nestled in high. Let's just go ahead and finish out the deck review. Here's 6ER. Now, 6ER is pretty nice too, I'm not going to lie. This might also be a good defensive deck. I need to look a little more closely at what the prevailing metas will probably be at that time. But we do like the 6ER deck with the single ramp access and that little nook around B1 could be pretty nice. Then again, you've also got the nook in the top back corner too. So 6ER is kind of nice, but at the same time, all the ERs are still sort of close to the ramp. Things just don't look highly defensible. 7ER, much the same, double ramp access, and you know, kind of wide open. So those are the decks. Back into the tree. So we got to keep that stuff in mind as we're strategizing. I think the general idea, like I said, is going to be to get to 4ER as soon as possible. And we'll jump into how soon that's going to be when we get into the tech tree calculations here with Martin's calculator. But yeah, so, you know, the first building health is on the way to 4ER. So that's great. So I think presumably we'd like to just go there, get all the necessary stuff, and hit 4ER. Once we're in 4ER, you see there's machine guns that come next, so those are going to be super clutch to helping to try to stop the warrior hits that I know will be plaguing us. And we might still be doing warriors too. I mean, we'll have warriors, you know, I don't know. But we're also not going to have as many things to support them as some of our opponents might. Like, I'm not going to be so quick to get shock bombs. I'm not going to touch the smokes, at least not presumably. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself if you guys aren't as familiar with the tree. But the smokes are underneath the warriors, and I just don't really want the smokes because it's 22 keys, and I feel like they're only really helpful early on with the Warriors. And I mean, maybe later when we do some other hits. But I just don't think there's a lot of value in smoke. I feel like 22 keys could probably be put elsewhere to help make progress going forward. Um, but so I'll probably end up on Bombardiers before other people. That's kind of my point. There's a lot of ways you can keep Warriors going strong. But by the time we're into 5ER, we can get some DBD. We can also get shock launchers. I think we're looking really good at that point. Plus, we've got access to a first proto here in 5ER. And we've got access to this multi-node right here in 5ER, which is really cool. That gives us the option of 2 extra boom cannons. So I think we'd like that. I mean, ideally, I'd like to get to 5ER and maybe fill out a bit, backfill. Try to get to 5ER as soon as possible. Backfill becomes strong. Now, along the way, you're like, well, what's your front line going to be for your Bombardiers? Because all I would have, presumably, if I'm using them, is just Warriors. So, yeah, that would be it. Warriors, Bombardiers, or just all Bombardiers. Whatever works. I would be tempted to maybe get heavies. However, they are also out of my way to 5ER. Now, heavies are good much later when you want the heavy chopper, but where I think the money's at is on the rifles here as we're in 5ER. So at some point, I would want to get rifles as my front line for the Bombardiers, which then sets me up for at some point getting Kavan, right? The synergy of Kavan, rifle, Bombardier. At some point, I think that'll carry me all the way through till we're in the heavy chopper zone, at which point, we need to go back, get heavies, all that good stuff, finish out the tree. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, though, because we just need to get ourselves probably into 5ER in a strong position, hopefully in diamond rank by this time, okay? So I think that's sort of the opening plan. Oh, it doesn't mean we can't look further into the season. Well, there's something I want to mention before we do. One little opportunity that could arise here in 5ER is the advent of critters, as you see, going off to the Sparky dead end. This can be strong because you'll also have access to shocks already back here in 4ER. And the combination of critters and shocks can do wonders on improperly defended ERs or defenses or whatever. And also with barrage, if you do have barrage, you could barrage out a key defense to make critter stomping or critter chomping an ER even more of a reality. So don't underestimate the power of critters here, and think long and hard about possibly including them in your in your path, in your choice, in your planning going forward. Because I'm keeping a strong eye on them. I see some real power of critters this season, potential. Now, we do see rocket choppers here at the dead end in 5ER. I don't think this is a good rocket chopper season, generally speaking. I mean, it can be good if you like rocket choppers. Don't get me wrong. You guys can make them work. But this season, unlike last season, well, you see the boom cannons come right before it. Plus, you've got the multi-node with 2 boom cannons. Plus, later in the tree, there's another multi-node that also has 2 more boom cannons you can choose. So I think that we're going to see a lot of boom cannons on the decks. So be careful. Another reason why I like rifles over heavies. Like, I feel like getting early heavies is a bad idea to put in front of my Bombardiers. Again, just because I know we're going to be facing a lot of boom cannons. So, well, presumably. So, I'd rather have them shooting rifles than heavies, you know what I mean? But could be a mistake. It could be smart just to get the heavies. Where were we? So, we kind of beat 5ER into the ground there. I mean, okay, there's Sparky. Like, should we get her? I mean, I was just going to not even mention her because it's kind of obvious. I don't think so. I mean, at this point, we've already got access to Kavan. He's generally the better hero, and I think you're just better off with Kavan than Sparky at this point. So I wouldn't get her. Let's see, how does this all connect? So moving into 6ER, we see it transitions into the med kit to start off, which, hey, we won't have med kits up until this point. That's kind of meaningful. I mean, it means that you're not healing back damage, not without medics, right? Not without Kavan or medics. I mean, if you hit mines, if you eat some rockets or whatever, that damage is just going to stay. So this could have some implications for strategy in this season. It could also make warriors, a little bit harder, right? Medkits are nice, but you're not going to have them anytime soon. Yeah, then we see there's another multi-node here in 6ER. Put it right on the screen. And, at least, hopefully, I put it on the screen. If I don't have all these screenshots, we might be missing some. So in theory, you see this multi-node, and yeah, we've got cryos on a dead end. Beautiful, because we probably don't want them. I don't expect things are going to be that dirty this season. By and large, I think the stats are pretty well balanced going through. We see we do have access to bullet down here. I don't know. I just don't think this is a good season for bullet unless maybe you're going to be running seekers. And did we miss the seekers? Oh, here they are. Seekers are on the way to 7 ER. Was I like totally off an ER count? Oh, we were. 3 over to 4. Yeah, oops. So, you know, when I was talking about 5 ER, I meant 4 ER. Guys, I apologize. Yeah, it's, you know, I'm just not used to seeing it without all the nice ER numbering that OP usually does for us. Anyway, it doesn't really change anything. I just kind of said the wrong numbers when I was identifying the ERs. But of course, that has corresponding implications on the deck layouts. Point is, though, we do want to get to 5. So kind of fill up some of the junk in 4, get to 5 quickly. Probably not going to pick up critters in 4, but they could be strong. Then we get into 5. 5 has the transition that comes across into the medkit, so we won't have medkits till 5 ER. I think by this time, there's just too many ERs for warriors to be practical. So like they're if they're not dead by 4, they're dead by 5. Like I think you can guarantee that one, okay? And we do have rocket choppers online for those crazy people that want to bring them, but good luck. You know, I don't think it's going to be the way to go. We're just going to be running bombardiers all day long. Now, Bullet comes here at the end of 5 on his dead end. I'm in the way to 6. I don't think he's a good choice. I think it's probably better to already have Kavan at this point. We get into 6 ER and we finally see artillery. That's great. Now, there's only 50% BH, so, I mean, it is going to be strong. It is going to be nice. We all have to pick it up. So, you know, synergistically, if you had barrage at this point, now you've got your barrage and artillery, so now you're looking strong. So, you know, you could have something going on here at 6 ER with barrage artillery, assuming you got enough GBE to support it, right? Maybe you can BART out an ER, or, you know, keep Protos, whatever, but that's looking good at this point. And also at this point, you pretty much have had to decide what you're going to go for, like rocket launchers or kind of like barrage, because you're going to have an excess of tokens. One way or another, you'll probably have wanted to spend on one of those two, you know? So, it's kind of hard for me to say right now which one I'd spend on. I'm tempted to say spend on the rockets. Like, get your rockets online before barrage, but we'll get back to you on that. Just need to do some more thoughts and see how metas unfold and develop. But I think getting rockets online before barrage makes more sense this season, generally speaking. But anyway, then we get into 6 ER, finally see the heavy chopper. At this point, you are probably going to need heavies to make these work properly. So, you know, just keep that in mind, right? You'll want to have heavies before these things are actually halfway decent. Scorchers, not going to really see any use out of them. Unfortunately, they came too late in this tree. A couple nice protos here in 6. We see a mech on the dead end, and here are the Seekers, finally, on the way to 7. So I don't think a lot of Seeker players are all too happy with this season, simply because there's no real easy way to rush the Seekers. They are buried deep, deep, deep in this tree. You know, that being said, people can still find effectiveness with the Seekers, so for those people that like them, there they are. For everyone else, there's a key vacuum on the way to 7. By and large, right after we get out of 7, there is building health, the final building health on this tree. That is certainly a destination we want to get to ASAP. So that's sort of the plan with that. We want to get to 7 as fast as possible, ultimately. Doesn't this sound like, you know, the same kind of strategy we do every season? Yeah, pretty much. But I think it's going to work out. The only thing is just what we do in the beginning. Let's jump into some of these calculations. See if I can figure this out on my phone. Okay, here's the calculation portion of the video. And as you can see, we've got the tech tree images on the left, and we've got the BBT FRG tech tree calculator for season 34 on the right. It's an Excel spreadsheet. I'm assuming people that are watching this are familiar with it. If you don't know where to get this, they post their spreadsheet on several locations, and I got this off of their Discord channel, but I think they've also got it on their Facebook and things like that. Just check out BBTFRG if you want to get your hands on this calculator. I would recommend you do it because with the absence of the Tech Tree Planner with Op Destroy this season, this is probably your best way to kind of interrogate the tree and get the information that you're looking for. So big shout out to you guys for putting all the work into this thing. This is the instructions tab. I just wanted to get you vaguely caught up on some of the nomenclature that's used on this. And primarily, it's how they label their multi-nodes. You see, we've got multi-node 1, we've got like troop damage 1, TH1, GBE 1. Everything is consecutive, right? It's just done in the order of appearance when reading from left, right, top, bottom. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we're identifying nodes going through this tree as we start to calculate. Okay, so when you get into this spreadsheet, the first thing you're going to need to do is enter in your finishing rank, and we've put in 2503. I think that's what it was. Close enough, give or take. Doesn't matter. We're putting in 2503, and it tells us that your starting rank will be Iron 14. That's great, but more importantly, it's tracking. Let me zoom out a bit. Here we go. Hopefully you can still see this all. It's tracking our cumulative keys and cumulative tokens. Now, cumulative insofar as it's deducting for costs. I've already made a couple of purchases in here, but so it's basically, think of it as starting keys and starting tokens. However, I've already, because I've been messing around with it, I've already taken the top path in 2ER, I believe. Order multi-node 1, TD1. Yes. Okay. I just wanted to save some time too. Now, so after taking the top path, which means we've unlocked the mines, the green mines as it's called here, the mortars, multi-node 1, and troop damage 1, it automatically knows what all the key costs are, and it automatically deducts. So you can see the cumulative keys, in other words, the keys we have remaining is 86, and our cumulative tokens is 3.45 million. Oh, yeah, one little note. We also have this lovely schedule for free keys and tokens, and thanks for including it into the spreadsheet. So it's all right here. You can see. You know, this is just a hassle. I don't think it adds much to the overall season. I would kind of hope they don't do this going forward. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think about getting these little tech injections. And I do emphasize the word little. I think that's the problem. If these were of like sizable nature, something that would actually let us maybe like advance a node or two, and they would have more impact on the progression of the season, I think they might be nice. But as they are right now in this form, they're barely noticeable and tedious at best to keep up with. But they're here. Keep this in mind as you are going through the season, but don't expect big things out of them. But just do know that you're getting a series of tokens and keys throughout the season. So, and that's the purpose of the name, right? March ahead, I guess. It's certainly not because we're in the month of March. Anywho, so but we're not factoring that in. I just thought about that. I wanted to make a comment there, and there it is. Should have done that in the previous section, though. Organization. Right. So what we're trying to do right now, though, is figure, okay, we've unlocked all this junk. We've unlocked everything up to the troop damage right above 3ER. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because the reason I'm looking at this path, I don't want to waste tech, okay? I still think smoke is a waste. I'm not focusing on warriors. Maybe I should. Maybe I'd have more fun, but I just don't think that's the way to go. At least not, I don't want to invest too heavily into them. And the same goes with Zookas. I think they're pretty much useless this season. Unless you go rocket choppers and then you like lose your rocket choppers and then maybe your Zookas do something, but even then, you already lost the hit if you're relying on the Zooka DPS from your rocket choppers. I don't see much of a use there. I see both those nodes as a waste, but they are a tech ride, you know? They do get you out of 2AR faster. There's no doubt about it. But I feel like we're just skipping too many important things to take that. I mean, the top route has mines. I mean, those so much value. The only thing that even has a chance at stopping warriors right now. We can't miss that. Mortars, I mean, you know, take them or leave them, but they are a defense. They do put health on the deck, you know. Multi-node, again, not super important, but the troop damage, absolutely. I mean, that's a stat. You're going to want that. So I don't see any point in skipping these things just to come back and pick them up later. I really don't. I don't see enough virtue coming out of the key expenditures for smokes and Zookas to justify it. That being said, though, we have a problem already, ladies and gentlemen. It's tech. You see, our tech level is at 70 right now. And in order to unlock 3ER, we need to get a tech level of 300. So one of the cool things about this spreadsheet is that it tracks that for us. Now, in order to do that, we need to start upgrading things. And you'll notice our token amounts are going to change accordingly. Landing craft, let's go ahead and max that. Pretty much a no-brainer, right? Now, for the gunboat, I think just right off the bat, we can pretty much say tick 4 without thinking about it. There's always value there. You know, that last tick just gives you 2 more GBE, so that one's always questionable, but it's good for tech, right? Last tick will give you 25 tech, but let's just kind of work our way through things logically. Show you how I like to think about it, at least. Flares, I know at a bare minimum, I want rank 3. I can't even function with anything less than that, not with warriors. We will be using warriors out of the gate, so I know we'll have to like make them somewhat usable. Those probably need to go to 4. But how are we doing on our tech? Well, we're already up to 210. We're looking good. We're up to 210, and we haven't even touched our defenses yet. Mines, okay, that's a no-brainer. Mines get maxed, right? So that should put us at 285, right? Oh, we already unlocked them, so yeah, 280, it's correct. Good thing this is the calculator, not me. And so really, technically, we only need 20 more tech if we're just going to try to max min our way in there. And I mean, that could easily be done in DBD. So I guess for the purposes of max minning our way in there, of course, this leaves us 0 defenses, which is, you know, I don't really like that. But whatever, I don't care for now. Honestly, we don't need the TD right off the bat, though, do we? I would rather put this into defenses. Let's just be honest. So the cannons are going to be killing warriors more quickly. Rank 3, that gets us there automatically. Let's just stick with that. We can come back and backfill. I just want to do the bare minimum right now, okay? Now, we can go ahead and we can unlock 3 engine rooms. Perfect. Now you see we've got 50 keys remaining. We've now unlocked the 3rd engine room. Go ahead and we'll look at it on this screen up here. So that means we're entering into flamethrowers next. We'll go ahead and select flamethrowers from here. Somewhere in here. There we go. Flamethrower. And, you know, I know we want to max these bad boys. Definitely. Okay. And now looking at the next choice, well, we can either go right to troop health or up to boom mines. Initially, I'd be tempted to go for troop health. It's a stat, you know, we're gonna like probably want that, need that, like that. However, boom mines gives us access to shock bombs. Shock bombs gives us access to Kaban. So, and you know, boom mines are pretty good too, and they're also good value, and they will kill warriors. So, for me, for those reasons, for the opportunity and for the value, I'm looking to go boom mines. Keep in mind, this is all subject to change. This is preliminary planning. Just walking you through my preliminary thoughts on the season. Waiting for the cursor to move. There we go. Boom mines, again, there's, I mean, probably a no-brainer to max. We don't have to max them, but for now we will. It's just so much value, right? And we'll kill stuff. Life will be great. Then, notice our cumulative keys, though. We're already at -6. So what that means is we can't even get boom mines till we've already unlocked at least 1 chest, okay? So, coming over, where was it? Here, right? Yeah, the free chests. These are the time chests, okay? So, let's just say we get the first one in iron, and, you know, for conservatism, let's just say we're going to get them all in iron. I don't think I have a realistic chance at an early gold unlock for the free chests. The only way is if I was to focus more on my warrior tech, and I'm not going to. So I think it's fair to say we're just going to unlock all 4 in iron. That's conservative, at least. So we'll go ahead and fill these in, okay? And that gives us more of the tech now that we can spend. You see, cumulative keys are now up to 46. Okay, we can keep spending. But keep in mind now, that means we've already had to do at least a few battles with warriors just to unlock at least 1 chest, okay? So just keep that in mind. Like, well, in fact, now that I mentioned that, we never even upgraded the darn warriors, did we? Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Well, let's just bite the bullet. Upgrade the warriors right now. Kind of skipped over that and forgot, but it's a key point. I mean, there's really no way out of that, right? Unless you just wanted to do Zukas or something. That's pretty much the rub. If you don't want to waste your tokens on warriors, you pretty much need to take the quick route out and get to bombardiers and just bring them online tokens on upgrading the warriors, and that total cost, it is a bit sizable. Oh, total's good. They total it out on the right. Well, you know, it's not that bad, ladies and gentlemen. It's 459.5k. Whatever, we'll do it. We know that puts us over our initial tech calculations from the first thing. Like, we easily had 300 tech. We didn't need to have the cannons online, but I don't think it's a bad thing either. I mean, honestly, if it's just me playing like the way I like to play, I mean, I would have those cannons maxed. Let's just max them. And because we can always remove from tokens later. And honestly, the sniper towers, just for, you know, I mean, max those, you know, why not? I mean, in a perfect world, I would max my mortars too, if it's possible, right? I mean, max those defenses, ladies and gentlemen. The TD, I honestly don't care about too much, especially not when I'm running warriors, because they're bringing enough troop damage. We will wait on that one early on. We've already got it unlocked. We've already got an extra 10%. That's fine. Okay. Let's get back into spending, right? Right, so we're at the boom mine node, and like I said, it gives us the opportunity to go north to get the shock bomb, which also accesses Kavan. However, I don't think I want any of that at first. I want to keep going to get into 5ER, right? Or in this case, 4ER. So we're going to want to pick up the bombardiers. And that's good. We'll still be able to get them on the opening day, but that's probably about it. Because that next one that comes after them, let's see the name of that node, I already forgot. Where are you, bombardiers? That's multi-node 2, okay? So multi-node 2, if we want to pick that up, sure, that's putting us in the negative, right? Oh yeah, minus 16, yeah. Not cheap at all. That's a 32 key node. So we can get all the way to the bombardiers with this path on the opening day, and I feel like that's really strong. If we're lucky, maybe we'll get a rank chest or something and level up. In fact, where do we enter that in? You know, I'm not as familiar with these sheets as I should be. Oh, right. I think we put it in here. What if I type in 15? Yeah. Okay, so I put it in here. That's still not enough. Yeah, I mean, it updated the cumulative keys and whatnot. Like, if I change this to 14, you'll see. But yeah, we just don't have a lot of tech in the chest this season. So even if I get up to rank 15, it's still not enough to open that multi-node, the second multi-node. Anyway, so that's the plan, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get the bombardiers on the opening day, kind of see how things go from there. We'll have all the tokens and everything we need to get these upgrades in there. Oh, we didn't upgrade the bombardiers, did we? Let's go ahead and max them. Let's take this multi-node out of it, just for lack of confusion. And yeah, I mean, this would give us a remainder of 29 keys and 360k tokens. That's basically maxing all the defenses along the way, not touching troop damage, and getting the bombardiers up there. You know, obvious places to cut would be like the sniper towers. They're the weakest, followed by the mortars, probably. Although you're kind of in for an inch, in for a mile with the mortars. I like the maxed or not at all. So keep that in mind. But, and you can also skimp a bit from your boom mines if you're looking to save and spend elsewhere. Like I said, though, looking forward, I'll probably want to come back when I have token excess and put some into rockets. But either way, I'm not too, like, excited to spend on either one of these right now. So I don't mind spending my tokens early to, like, beef up my defenses, try to shut down the warriors, try to give my bombardiers some room to grow. And yeah, we'll take it from there. I think we'll just wrap it up right there. So please let me know in the comments below, you know, kind of what you're thinking for the season, what your strategy is. Maybe you got some key little moves you want to make, or some, I don't know, just some stuff you'd like to discuss. Let me know, and I'll get back to you. So with that, I hope you have a super fantastic, awesome rest of your day. And remember, be kind to others, because if you're not, you're just being mean, and mean people suck. Take care.